There was a time when upgrading your GPU was one of the best feelings in the world. You'd save up, order the card, install it, and suddenly every game ran beautifully. No compromises, no drama. You trusted Nvidia with your money because they made products for you. But today, that's just bad business in the eyes of Wall Street. Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, has chosen AI over you. The company is cutting production of gaming GPUs by 30% to feed the AI giants. They've quietly killed the RTX 50 Super series before it even launched. And Huang recently said that a GPU shortage is actually good for business. So what happened? Today we're diving into why Jensen Huang decided to abandon the gamers who made him a billionaire, and why Nvidia may no longer want you to own a decent graphics card at all. Let's go back in time when AI wasn't a thing yet. During this period, Nvidia wanted to make gamers happy. Every generation felt like a real upgrade. A $300 GPU bought you smooth, high-settings performance that lasted years. They weren't luxury items. They were tools for normal people who just wanted to play games. And Nvidia's marketing was simple. Better performance, better efficiency, better gaming. No AI buzzwords, no metaverse speeches, no promises about the future of digital humans, just faster graphics cards. But something changed around 2018, and the first hint of that change came from a technology that most gamers didn't care about at the time: artificial intelligence. At first it looked harmless. Nvidia introduced something called tensor cores. They said it would help with new features like DLSS. It's a feature that uses AI to improve your FPS while keeping visuals sharp. It sounded cool, but nobody realized what it really meant. In reality, Nvidia had developed this tech a year earlier for the Tesla V100, a massive, expensive chip designed strictly for AI researchers and data centers. By putting tensor cores into your GeForce card, Nvidia wasn't just adding a gaming feature. They were using your money to fund the mass production of their AI hardware. And that was the moment Nvidia started becoming an AI company that also sells gaming graphic cards. To see how the industry broke, we need to look at three major phases. Today, AI is a bigger market for Nvidia than gamers. In 2025, only about 8% of Nvidia's revenue came from gaming. The rest, you guessed it, AI. But how is that possible? How can a few AI models generate more revenue than billions of gamers? Let's start with something simple. Modern frontier AI models contain hundreds of billions of parameters. Some even reach trillions. Think of parameters like tiny adjustable neurons inside the AI's brain. The more parameters it has, the smarter the AI model, but also harder to train. That's why training these models with normal gaming GPUs would take decades. So companies use a completely different class of GPU to speed things up. Instead of normal GDDR memory, they use HBM, high bandwidth memory. These cards can have 48 gigabytes, 80 gigabytes, even over 120 gigabytes of memory. That's several times more than what most gamers have in their entire PC. But here's the real twist. AI companies don't buy one or two special GPUs. They buy tens of thousands of them, and their number is still growing as you're watching this video. Imagine you own a hamburger restaurant and you're trying to sell hamburgers to millions of hungry customers. Then suddenly, one customer walks in and offers to pay 100 times more per burger, as long as you make them extra large. And he wants a lot of them. A lot. That's what AI companies look like to Nvidia. That's why Jensen Huang is obsessed with AI. These high bandwidth memory GPUs sell for tens of thousands of dollars each. Furthermore, they use the same resources and materials that your average gaming GPU needs for production. Every HBM AI chip produced literally kills about 3 potential gaming GPUs, leaving gamers hungry. And if Nvidia can print money by selling GPUs to a few AI companies, they don't have much motivation to prioritize gamers anymore. And this isn't the first time they've done something like this. In 2018, the crypto mining boom caused a massive GPU shortage and pushed prices through the roof. But Nvidia insisted that their revenue growth was primarily from selling to gamers and not to miners in China. That was a lie. Because when the crypto bubble burst, Nvidia's stock dropped nearly 30%, and they were later fined $5.5 million for failing to disclose its crypto-related revenue. But the crypto boom was temporary, so Nvidia found a more permanent way with AI. Today, the market often feels like it has two options: cheap GPUs that struggle with modern games, or extremely expensive GPUs that most people don't actually need. The middle ground is shrinking, and that's where most gamers used to live. But why would a company do this? Because limited choice changes how people buy. If there are only two options, many customers will stretch their budget and buy the expensive one. It's like going to a restaurant that only sells small fries or a family-sized bucket. You didn't want the bucket, but suddenly it feels like the only reasonable option. And Nvidia can get away with this because they can use RAM shortage as a shield. Because there actually is a memory shortage, Nvidia can say, sorry, we just don't have enough VRAM to give you more. While partially true, it's also a convenient excuse, because the memory that does exist is far more profitable when sold into AI hardware, like HBM GPUs. In fact, the CEO of memory specialist Phison warned that the consumer electronic manufacturers will go bankrupt by the end of 2026 because of AI. If people can't buy RAM, they can't build PCs. And if they can't build PCs, they won't upgrade them either. Meanwhile, software keeps getting heavier. Games demand more VRAM. AI tools demand more VRAM, but many gaming GPUs stay roughly the same. So over time, your GPU starts to feel slower. Not because it broke, but because the software world moved ahead without it. So does that mean that Nvidia has completely abandoned gamers? Not quite. They still have a plan for us. A plan that can revolutionize the entire gaming industry. So if GPUs become scarce for us, and the powerful ones become too expensive, what happens next? Well, look around. Everything is turning into a subscription. You constantly pay for different services for music, movies, software, and even online courses. It's like you no longer own anything but rent. And Nvidia is already experimenting with the same idea. While this is just a speculation, most gamers have taken notice of this already, and they are not happy about that, because you'll no longer need to buy a powerful GPU. You can play any game you want through cloud gaming. Your computer becomes a video terminal, while the real GPU sits in a remote data center. At first it sounds great. No hardware upgrades, no installation, no waiting for new GPUs to launch. But over time, your graphics card will change into the most expensive OnlyFans subscription on the planet. They will start throwing ads mid-game, asking you to pay extra to unlock higher VRAM, pay extra to increase FPS, pay extra to remove ads, just like every other subscription you have. And slowly, we're getting there. But why can't we just drop their product and switch for a different brand? In theory, that sounds easy. In reality, it's much harder, because Nvidia spent the last decade building something more powerful than hardware: an ecosystem. Game developers optimize their games around Nvidia features like DLSS. AI tools are built specifically for CUDA, Nvidia's computing platform. Even many professional software packages only run best on Nvidia GPUs. This creates a massive lock-in effect. If you switch to another GPU vendor, suddenly some features disappear. Some programs run slower. Some AI tools don't work at all. And Nvidia knows this, because when your entire software stack depends on one company, you're no longer choosing their products, you're stuck with them. Despite all of this, there's some good news for gamers. You see, this exact story isn't something new. We've seen it before. Back in the 2000s, Intel held a complete monopoly on the CPU market. Because they had no real competition, they gave us the same 4-core processors for nearly a decade, while slowly hiking the prices. Intel thought users had nowhere else to go. But this stagnation created an opportunity, and eventually, AMD arrived with Ryzen. Suddenly, the market changed overnight with more cores, better prices, and real competition. When a company stops innovating for customers and starts extracting from them, hungry competitors start sharpening their knives. Nvidia might be the king of the hill today, but no empire lasts forever when it starts taxing its own foundation. Now, this kind of change won't happen overnight, but it eventually will. And when that happens, Jensen Huang will face two choices: leave the gaming market entirely, or compete again, but with better prices, better value, and products built for gamers. Because when customers finally have options, loyalty disappears very quickly. But what do you think? Is cloud gaming the future you actually want, or would you rather keep owning your own hardware? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy deep dives into tech industry stories like this, consider subscribing, because there are a lot more behind-the-scenes battles happening in the world of tech, and we're just getting started.